Hey guys, welcome to Technability, your source for no-nonsense tech. I haven't been around for a while, but I am back with a review today and a comparison that we're going to be doing with a bunch of other phones. Of course, the newly released Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. This is Samsung's latest and greatest. It seems like the years are going by so quickly now with the release of all these phones. It almost seems like yesterday the S8 Plus was released, the Note 8 was released, now we already have an S9 Plus. As a matter of fact, I had a customer come in yesterday who was repairing an S8, I told him, like, look, you want to see the S9 Plus? He's like, S9? I just bought the S8 about 2 weeks ago. And he already broke it. But nonetheless, they're coming out so quickly, and the S9 and S9 Plus are more of an incremental update to the S8 anyway, so it's not this dramatic difference in design or in quality or in specs. So it's not, right off the bat, I'm going to let you guys know, it's not much of an upgrade from the S8 or S8 Plus. And if you're owners of those two phones, I would suggest keeping your phones. You can watch this video just for an idea of what you're getting in terms of newer features, but I would say stick with your S8 and S8 Plus right off the bat. Okay, my name is Bears. This is Technability, your source for no-nonsense tech. Let's go ahead and get started here. You can see the phone and its design. I'm going to go through the hardware in a moment, but first I want to show you guys the actual screen. Of course, it's a 6.2 inch Super AMOLED display. This thing is a 2K resolution display, rendering roughly 529 pixels per inch. Just in case you're wondering, that's 1440 by 2960. It's a 18 by 9 ratio. Of course, Corning Gorilla Glass 5, Super AMOLED, so you got the superb color saturation where the blacks look real dark. The color saturation is just very bright and vibrant. This is the lilac purple model. It also comes in black, coral blue. You can see the lilac purple just has a really nice bezel. The housing color is nice. It's all metal on the sides. You can see it has the metal lilac purple housing. Of course, the lilac purple back glass. And this is a big phone, guys. I mean, it's 8.5 millimeters, so it's a little bit thicker than the S8 Plus. It is a big phone. It's heavy. You know, it's got a pretty decent sized battery as well, 3,500 milliamps. So if you're prone to dropping phones, this thing is going to fall fairly easily and fairly often. I would say get a case or a screen protector, maybe something like a Skinomi wrap to go around the entire device to avoid scratches and of course cracks. But you can see the back is glass. You got the dual camera, 12 megapixel. Of course, shoots in 4K with the flash, and the fingerprint sensor is now below the camera, which I know this might be controversial opinion, but I hate the placement. I actually prefer the placement next to the camera. I find this button to be too small. I also find it to be just placed in an awkward location. For whatever reason, I'm just not comfortable with this fingerprint scanner, but luckily Samsung has added face recognition, which was already there on previous iteration Galaxy phones. However, they've now basically mixed it in with the IR sensor, so it just has a more secure, you can see the iris scanner, secure, apparently better face scanner. There you go. Okay, so fairly easy to use, fairly common, common sense. You can see the bottom, the speaker grill, it's different now. Still have the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, USB-C. On the top, you have the SIM tray with the SD card slot. And then you have the microphone and the unfortunate and annoying Bixby button. Excuse me, you have the volume rockers and the Bixby button. Then you have the power button right here. And just in terms of its design, it's an absolutely stunning device. No doubt about it. Very similar build, if not almost identical to the S8 Plus. But now the lilac purple bezel just looks really nice with the all black screen. And of course you have the edges. But I just think this looks so sleek with this color. I'm a fan. I am a fan of the build. I have been for a while since they released the S8. I thought it was nice that they went with the on-screen buttons as opposed to the physical home button, which they had with the S7, S7 Edge. They now went with all on-screen. So that's pretty much the physical attributes of the Galaxy S9 Plus. In terms of specs, you have a, like I said, 2K resolution Super AMOLED display. The chipset would be a Snapdragon 845 with a Mali G72 GPU. In US, I believe it's an Adreno 630. So this thing is packing specs, 6 gigs of RAM. You have 64 gigabyte, 128, 256 gigabyte internal. It does take SD card, obviously. and it does have dual SIM models if you were to buy the international model. 3500 milliamp battery, 8 megapixel front facing camera, 12 megapixel rear camera, wireless charging, IP68 water resistant. So this thing is water resistant. However, even with that said, I would say avoid liquid at all costs. I still wouldn't put my phone around water, even if it's IP68 water resistant. You still have gaps, especially salt water, and people think they can go swimming in the ocean with their phone. Guys, don't go swimming in the ocean with your phone. Just don't do it. So a couple things that I'm a bit bummed out about. This is more in relation to carriers. Now, if you were to buy the phone from Verizon, Verizon is now locking their phones. I don't know if this applies to the S8 Plus, or excuse me, the S9 Plus, but now if you were to buy a Verizon model, they're no longer going to be supporting unlock bands to use it for GSM carriers like T-Mobile, AT&T, and other prepaid carriers. Now Verizon is locking their phones, and there's a process you have to go through to unlock them. So a bit bummed out about that. That's something that I was always a big fan of with Verizon. You could buy a Verizon unlocked phone and use it for any carrier. Well, not any longer. Okay, so in terms of software now, let's go ahead and get into the software here of this absolute beast. This is running Android 8.0 Oreo with Samsung TouchWiz or Samsung Experience 9.0. You can see that right there. Okay, Oreo with 9.0. And I immediately got an update for this. This is the T-Mobile model. Immediately got an update as soon as I opened this thing up. So that was pretty cool. It was an update to the, apparently an update to the face recognition. And I think it was a camera improvement or something of that nature. Speaking of the camera, that's where this bad boy shines. This thing has a phenomenal camera. I'm gonna get into that right off the bat. I know it's kind of hard to see indication, just showing you this couch obviously, but I'm gonna show you the quality of photo that this thing takes. And no doubt about it, it is an absolutely phenomenal camera. I've never, you know, and I always say this every time they release a phone that the cameras are really phenomenal, but this is something else. You have the super slow motion, which is really cool. It takes a little while to get used to what, you know, how to utilize it. But once you get to figuring it out, it's really kind of cool. You have AR emoji. Of course, you can see I can remove my current emoji. I'll show you guys how that looks. Hyperlapse feature. Of course, you could just record in regular 4K. Pro mode, if you're one of those pro feature type people. Panorama, food. Of course, that focus isn't on the food you're taking. My girlfriend loves taking pictures of her food, so a lot of people like to do that. Again, you have the front-facing camera here. Okay, and all the features with the front-facing camera. Let's go back to the rear camera. You could do full screen mode. You have the settings options. Of course, you could change the video resolution, picture resolution, and all that good stuff through the settings. Now, let me just go ahead and show you guys some of these features like the AR emoji.
Hi babe.
This was me talking to my girlfriend.
This is my emoji.
Guess it kind of looks like me. Sort of, kind of, maybe. Turn on autoplay next. No. Okay, so let's just close out. Show you guys some of the pictures that this thing took. Here's a picture of my cat. Just absolutely phenomenal quality. Let's just zoom in here. You can see the level of detail, the color of her eyes. Everything just looks so perfect. Here's another one of my cat. Just the quality, again, is absolutely phenomenal. Front-facing camera. Great quality front-facing camera. Okay. I'll get into some video quality in a bit, but I do want to show you guys the camera quality, and it's basically going to be my cat. And let me show you guys the slow-mo here. This is kind of a weird indication of it, but okay, that was basically supposed to be it. Yeah, you know, not the greatest indication. Again, not the greatest indication, but still really funny. You'll also get an idea of the audio, which isn't working. I'm having issues with the speaker here.
I'm I'm gonna eat you. I'm gonna eat you.
Yeah, don't mind me wanting to eat my cat. She's purring. Okay, I'm going through the settings real quick. You guys can see the display settings here. You have screen resolution, home screen, screen mode. You want to be careful when you set your brightness to over 80%. You may get screen burn, which is common with Samsung screens. You could avoid it, of course, but screen burn is a common thing. You have icons with frames. Now, when you get the phone out of the box, the screen resolution is set to 1080. I would immediately go in there and set it to 1440p. However, if you're a battery person, that may drain your battery a little bit more, but I would probably set that to 1440 just to get the best experience with the screen. Home screen settings, you could set the app screen grid, portrait mode only. Yeah, one of the cool things now that you get here is you can actually rotate the home screen and have it in portrait or landscape mode. So you didn't have this before with the S8 Plus, so this is a cool new feature that they added. And I believe it's a software feature, of course, so they should be able to have this with the S8 Plus as well. Excuse me, with the S9 Plus. They should be able to add it with the S8 Plus. So there you go, landscape mode. All right, let's go ahead and rotate this back. Okay, so yeah, going back to the settings here. So home screen settings, full screen apps, icons with frames. You can remove that if you want to just do icons only. See how that looks here if I was to just change it to icons only, which is probably what I prefer. I don't even know why I had it with frames. Again, default out of the box showcases it with the frames. I probably prefer to do it without the frame. One of the things that always bugged me about Android is when you exit out of the settings, if you're in a specific setting and you exit out, it takes you back to this screen. I wish it just took you back to where you were. Edge screen, of course, you guys have the edge screen features here. You can see how that works. People edge, apps edge. You can customize this to your liking, smart select, and it's useful for many people. I personally don't use it, but you can see the customizations. Edge lighting, light up edge screen when you receive notifications. So it is a convenient thing. I know a lot of people do use it. You can see your phone will light up, the edges will light up if your phone is flat on its face. If you receive a notification or a call from specific people, you can customize it. Cool feature, suffice to say. And you can see the notification bar. You get a ton of different notifications based on the app that you download and whatever notifications that you set within that app. You have the customizable toggles right here. You can customize those by simply clicking button order, button grid. You can get the settings menu right there. You can see right here, brightness level. So really convenient, very customizable. So it's right there, easy to use, fairly simple. Another thing I would do, just a little tip, is when you download an app, go to notifications, specifically games, turn them off. Turn off whatever notifications you don't think you're gonna use. Believe me, it saves a lot of battery life. You can see device maintenance, Samsung's built-in task manager. Do not download another task manager. This is all you need. Okay, this is it. You don't need anything else. Just set the widget on your home screen, click optimize every so often. You can see it shows you the 6 gigs of RAM, storage, 43 gigs free, 64 gigabyte internal storage. You have your apps, lock screen and security. Now this is where it gets tricky because you have so many different security measures. Intelligent scan, face recognition, iris scanner, fingerprint scanner. I would set up whatever you think you want. I mean, it really depends on what level of security you want. I have face recognition with the iris scanner, and I have my home button or the fingerprint scanner because I feel like the more, the easier it is to just get into the phone. You have always on display, notifications, Google Play Protect, Find My Mobile. This can be confusing to someone who's not accustomed to this. So if you're not, there's a learning curve. But if you are, then you already know what all of this is about. Smart lock, secure lock settings. And of course, if you're coming from a previous Samsung, you can do smart switch. So all your settings and apps and everything will be transferred right over to this phone. Okay, lock screen security, clouds and accounts, general management, software update, basically self-explanatory stuff. Again, the notifications. This is important. Turn those off if you don't use them. And you can see, again, if I was to go into settings, you have the ability to multitask. So I can have that just as such. Just open Google Chrome here. Minimize that as well. Okay, and have 2 apps running at once. This is the true definition of multitasking. I can also do split window. Okay. Very easy to use, common sense. Simple as that. Just basically close out. X out of it. Everything closes out. And not every app will give you the ability to minimize it as such, but most of them usually do. And this is just really cool if you want to do multiple tasks at once. It's convenient. I mean, come on, right? Again, true definition of multitasking. And it doesn't much slow down the phone when you do that. I mean, it is going to take up a little bit more RAM in order to have multiple processes, but you could still text, make a call, do a variety of things while you're multitasking. Okay, let's go ahead and check out some video quality. Alright, so let's close out. Go to library here, my videos. Alright, we'll do the Note 8 full review here.
So, it's your friend's birthday. How do you find the perfect gift?
Very
Download
loud
the Amazon
speakers,
app
no
and let
doubt
it
about
find you. Just seen your mom read.
Go to your source for no nonsense about the device, but I am going to pick 3 people to send consolation prizes. It's going to be $25 gift cards to Amazon, so I'm going to be emailing you guys the winners of the $25 gift cards. So let's just fast forward here. Fingerprint scanner, you'll get used to it. I mean, if you do use SIM card tray, just the frame, the housing on this thing is absolutely stunning. It doesn't seem as curved as the S8 Plus, and I'll do a comparison so you guys will see that. It doesn't seem as curved. It also has a little bit more bezel, slightly bit more bezel on the sides. See how I can minimize it? All right, so video quality great, audio quality great. Looking at the calculator here, the calendar, just going through actually a quick performance speed test here, just to show you guys how fast this device is. You can see I'm opening and closing out of apps pretty much immediately, no lag. Okay, it's fairly quick and easy. And just closing out of everything. This is actually Google's keyboard. This is the keyboard that I use by default, but you can see here, obviously you have Samsung's keyboard, which is for many people good enough. Hey, what's going on? Of course you have swipe and you have voice to text. You also have the ability to just kind of do Google Now, or excuse me, you have the ability to do voice to text. Here, I'll show you. Hey, what's going on? What are you doing? Question mark. Is everything going okay today? Question mark. And you can see this is fairly self-explanatory, and it's going to keep typing as I keep talking. I'm not a fan of Samsung's keyboard, but a lot of people are, and that's pretty much that. Now, if I was to go back to Gboard here, it has the same. Hey, what's going on? What are you doing today? Question mark. Okay, so again, simple enough. And now, I do want to mention, speaking of voice assistant, you do have Bixby. Some people like Bixby. Again, it's really in the eye of the beholder.
Great to meet you.
Yeah.
Just press and hold the Bixby key whenever
Not
you need
a
me.
big fan of
I'll
Bixby,
respond
I'll
to
be
your
honest with
voice
you
or
guys.
text.
I'm not a big fan of Bixby. I just don't think it's like convenient to have its own button. You keep pressing
Here are
it.
all of the languages I can speak.
Yeah, I know. And you could set up Bixby. You also have Google Now. Really redundant in this regard. Like, you have so many voice features. Like, you know, obviously there's Google Now. It's going to listen to my voice for the OK Google. You guys know all about Google Now. It's really not that complex, right? And it's convenient, no doubt about it. Again, going through apps, it's just very fast, very fluid. You're not going to have lag. You can see this is actually my first time opening up Facebook. A little bit of lag there, only because it's the first time. Closing out of it, let's go ahead and take a look at a game. I don't know, what's a game we can look at? Let's look at Chinatown Wars, because this is a classic, guys. If you guys played GTA Chinatown Wars back in the day, this is a really awesome game. I would recommend it for anyone who's a fan of GTA. Top down, you can see the views top down. It plays super fluid, no lag, no stuttering. Great audio, great graphics. Yeah, this is phenomenal. There's no reason why you can't play the most high-end games with the types of specs that this thing has. I mean, it's literally a mid-range PC from 10 years ago if we're talking about specs. How quickly it loads and how quickly everything starts up. I mean, that's literally immediate, right? I didn't have to wait much. Another classic, Temple Run. I fell and died. Okay, we'll close out of that. And again, you can easily just close out of all the apps. It's that simple. I mean, the phone itself is just very easy to use. You have Samsung Internet. It comes with both Samsung Internet and Chrome. So if you want to use Samsung Internet, you can. There's no problem. I mean, some people like Samsung, some people like Chrome. Pinch zoom, very smooth, easy to use. Same with the gallery. If you were to go to the gallery here, you could see this is fairly, you could pinch into pictures and pinch out. Just basically share pictures, edit them. They have their own editing app. So that's fairly simple. You can do all sorts of different types of edits. So they have a lot of built-in applications here to make everything more seamless and easier for you so that you don't have to download too many third-party apps. So that's, I mean, I guess that's really convenient, right? Of course, Google Maps. Just basically, you guys know what all this is. I just want to show you how it runs all these apps. It runs them perfectly, runs them well. Really not much different from the S8 Plus. I mean, minor differences. You'll notice minor speed differences, very little in terms of its overall functionality compared to the S8 Plus. But nonetheless, it is an upgrade. I'm just looking at the lock screen real quick here. I have the wallpaper set, and you have a ton of different wallpapers too. So you could do wallpapers, you could do themes, you have a bunch of different wallpapers you could download, user wallpapers, you know, whatever you're a fan of. Okay, you could see Infinity Wallpaper, which is what I have set up, or I used to have set up. I don't have set up now, but yeah, I mean, the phone in of itself is just really, really awesome. If you're upgrading from, say, an S7, your 2-year contract is due, I would say definitely look into the S9 Plus. If you're coming from S8 Plus, I don't know if it's really worth the upgrade. Actually, I would say no, it's not worth the upgrade. Same with the Note 8. I would say wait for the Note 9. If you're an iPhone user and you're looking for something different, this is definitely intriguing. The size is a little big. You got to get used to that. It's a very delicate phone, so get a case and screen protector if you need one, or else you're going to break it and you're going to end up coming to someone like me to fix it and pay a lot of money to do so. So try to avoid that at all costs. Battery life thus far has been really good. I've been a huge fan of the battery life. 3500 milliamp is a huge battery, so I'm a fan of the battery life. And overall, it's obviously as high-end as it's going to get for Android at the moment. So if you want the latest and greatest with the best camera, best specs, there you go, Galaxy S9 Plus. If you want something a bit more practical, maybe go with the regular size S9. All right, that's pretty much that. Covered everything I wanted to cover. Stay tuned, guys, as we compare this with a bunch of other high-end devices currently out on the market, including the iPhone X. My name is Baird. You guys have watched Technability, your source for no-nonsense tech. If you have any cell phones that need repaired, I do take in ship-in, so let me know. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.